We've seen some incredible runs at World Cup downhill, especially from people in wet conditions. People like Aaron Gwynn, who've done unbelievable things. You think they can't go any faster in the rain, and he does it. So that got me thinking just how much slower for mere mortals like myself is riding in the wet, and in fact in winter. So today I'm going to put a time on a hill, going up and back down, see how much effort I'm putting in through power and heart rate, and recording the times and compare it to a dry run in summertime. The question is, future Neil, how did lockdown treat you? Have you still been drinking too much beer? Oh yeah, and winter Neil, remember that pandemic you thought was almost over? Yeah. Let's take a look at my winter bike setup whilst I'm shivering. This is my Canyon Spectral, it's a medium size. It's not going to change much to summertime, other than, I guess, the biggest difference will be the tyres. At the moment I'm running my Vittoria Motor mud tyres. You can see they're nicely spread apart, big chunky grip, so it's going to dig into the mud, it's going to clear nicely. I'm running them quite soft, at least for me anyway. 26 psi in the rear, 24 up front. I'm hoping that's going to give me a really good amount of grip. The question is, are my mud tyres in the wet going to be as fast as my dry tyres in the summer? Summer Neil here, future Neil. Just climbed out of my DeLorean, parked it up in the car park. The date is the 22nd of July 2021. It is roasting hot. Bet you're jealous. Anyway, got my summer tyres on, my Vittoria Mazzas. Bike set up the same. Bit more pressure in these tyres, it's going to be rock hard. Time to go and hit 88 miles per hour. I've got my heart rate monitor on, I've got my Garmin Vector Rally power meter pedals, sending all that information to my head unit so I can see how hard I'm going, how much effort I'm putting in, and hopefully it should be easier, faster in some time, but we'll see. It's February the 18th, it's been very wet for the last 3 months probably. It's 6 degrees Celsius, it's cold, it's wet, it's time to ride. The climb gives you a 118 metre elevation gain and it's 2.27 kilometres long. Oh man, first time I've hit max heart rate for a while. Oh man, I'll sit in the shade. Oh man, it's so hot. And that sort of tunnel there, the hot air. I feel like my heart rate was probably lower because I couldn't push as hard, but it felt really hard. You're now 11% adapted to the heat. Keep track of your heat acclimatation and the training status widget. I don't feel very acclimatised. We're saying like 32 degrees down there, which I know isn't mad hot, but it's hot enough for a big effort. Oh, sloppy in bits, definitely. A lot of it is quite nice and hard pack, to be fair, but some of the bumpier, like not the nice climbing bits, they're like kind of technical, kind of boggy as well. So I think that's going to slow me down a lot. Right, we're at the top of the hill, time for a descent. Let's put a decent time in. Kind of don't know what to expect. Conditions are pretty wet, pretty muddy, some big puddles. I fully expect to be faster in summertime, but I don't know what the power and heart rate's going to say. But I guess there's only one way to find out. Here we go. The descent is 1.06 kilometers long with 107 meters drop. Right, I'm absolutely melting now. Both riding up and down in this heat has killed me. So let's get to the results. And as you would imagine, I am faster, but we'll dig into data properly in a second. It's quite interesting actually. Before I get into that, I think there wasn't much difference. I wondered if there'd be a lot of difference in line choice, to be honest. There was a little bit, more than anything going up. I could choose to go straight across some of those routes because everything was super grippy. There's a couple of tight switchbacks of routes in them on the climb, and I was just powering up them. You don't have to worry about sliding out at all. On the descent, I actually don't feel like there was really at all any line differences. I think the biggest difference really, of course, is in the grip, but also the rolling resistance. I think, you know, when the trail's rock hard and level, there's no mud, you just roll a lot faster and you can really feel that. I think that makes the biggest difference in the times, because even on the descent, yes, grip helps, but in the turns, it's kind of a little bit dusty, a little bit marbly now in summertime. So it doesn't feel mega grippy, even though it's dry, but I think it's the rolling resistance probably makes the biggest difference. Right, to the times and the more of the stats. In the winter, my climb was 12 minutes 03. In summer, it was 10 minutes 22. So a lot faster. My average speeds, so in winter, 11.3 kilometers an hour, max speed 32. Average power, 235 watts, max power 633, normalized power 255. So that sort of accounts for those times when you're not pedaling to give you a normalized power. Cadence, I don't think there's much to read from that. My average was 82, max 135. Heart rate average 175, HR max 183, and that is pretty much my maximum heart rate. Into the summer, I've said already a lot faster. So average speed was up 13.1 kilometers, max speed 36. So there is a descent in that bit of a climb. That's pretty quick down there, to be fair. And that's sort of 3 kilometers an hour faster than in the winter. Average power 269, max 939. So I put the power down this time. So that makes my normalized power 299. So about 40 watts higher than in the winter. Cadence, pretty much the same. Slightly slower, but not much in it, on average at least. Heart rate, so 167 average, that's quite a lot lower in the heat. HR max 179, so again 4 beats off. Like I said, it felt really hard. I don't know if that kind of stopped me pushing. The heat was proper hard work, so whether or not I regulated myself without realising, but I was faster with a slightly lower heart rate, even though my power was about the same. So actually my summertime climb was 14% faster than my winter, and my Garmin actually gives me an estimated sweat loss of 174 millilitres in, what was that, almost 10 minutes. It's quite a lot. Right, on to the downhills. So my winter downhill time was 2 minutes 18 seconds, average speed of 25.8 kilometers an hour, max speed 35, average power 43, not a lot as you'd expect, and didn't do much. Max was 784, so I did put a sprint in of decent sort of wattage. Normalized 67. Heart rate average 167 beats per minute, and HR maximum was 178. So a little way off a max, but not a million miles away. In summer, I was 8 seconds faster, so 2 minutes 10. Average speed of 28k, max speed 38, so a bit faster all round. Average power of 73, a bit more again. Max 804, a little bit more. So maybe I am slightly fair, even though I don't feel it. Normalised power 101, it really doesn't tell you a huge amount, those wattages on the descent, I don't suppose. Heart rate average 165 and max 175, so slightly lower, not a lot in it. So a bit like the climb, I suppose. So interestingly, I was only 5.8% quicker on the descent, where I was 14% faster on the climb. All around, that gives me a 9.9% quicker on average, up and down in summertime, which is quite a lot. A tenth faster in summertime. That kind of has surprised me. I guess, you know, that is British riding for you. In winter time when it's wet and muddy, it's harder work, it is slower, but quite interesting nonetheless. So there you go, riding in summer is about 10% faster than riding in winter. I guess the interesting point for me is that riding up the hill is faster in summer than it is coming back down. Interesting one, that. Is it more fun? I don't think so. I think it's fun all year round, although there's much less cleaning in summertime, although you do get a bit sweatier. Give us a thumbs up if you love riding your bike in the sunshine, and try and ride as fast as you can.